Alright, so today we're doing something new. In this video, my friend will try to hunt me down and kill me before I can beat Minecraft. If I die, the video ends. Simple as that. But while I try not to lose, I'm going to be reading some of the craziest, most unhinged Reddit stories I could find today. Alright, let's start and dive right into our first story from Am I the Asshole community. The post is titled, Am I the Asshole for Humiliating my ex's new girlfriend in front of our friend group? So, I'm a 22-year-old female, and I broke up with my boyfriend mutually about 8 months ago. We share the same friend group, so we kept things cool and stayed on good terms. Recently, I started hitting the gym, going to therapy, and really taking care of myself. My friends even told me I looked way happier and healthier, which gave me a massive confidence boost. Now, I'm a huge nerd. I play D&D weekly, and I have thousands of hours in Stellaris. Drop a comment if you play that, by the way. But I also love to cosplay. Usually I choose characters that cover up my face and body, like Hornet from Hollow Knight. But since I've been feeling way more confident, a friend convinced me to do a joint cosplay as Viper and Chamber from Valorant for a big convention in my city. We spent 6 months pouring all our free time into these outfits. 3 weeks before the con, I sent a picture of the finished cosplay to our group chat asking for feedback. Immediately, my ex DMs me out of nowhere saying, "Please don't wear that to the con, it might make my new girlfriend uncomfortable." I asked him what about it would make her uncomfortable, and this man literally refuses to elaborate. I told him I just spent half a year working on this, so I'm obviously not throwing it away for a girl I've never even met. Fast forward to the convention. I wore the cosplay, and it was a huge success. I tried to keep my distance from my ex and his new girl, but we ended up spending part of the day together. The entire time this new girl is making snide comments at me and laughing whenever people ask me for a picture. Everyone in the group looked totally uncomfortable, but nobody said anything. After the con, our group goes out to a restaurant for dinner. Another friend casually asks the new girlfriend if she'd ever want to try cosplaying. And guys, listen to her actual response. She literally says, "Why would I need more attention from guys? I already have a boyfriend, I'm not a slut." The mask completely dropped. I finally snapped and told her to stop acting like a pick-me bitch just because I got attention all day. The new girl instantly bursts into tears. My ex jumps in demanding I apologize, and I told him I'll only do it if she apologizes for insulting me the entire day. More friends joined the screaming match, and it got so toxic that we literally got kicked out of the restaurant. It's been 5 days now, and my ex is threatening to leave the friend group forever unless I apologize. Honestly, I wouldn't care if he did, but some of our friends are begging me to just cave in to stop him from leaving. So, what does the internet think about this? Let's look at the top comments. One user, Fioraborn, got almost 5,000 upvotes for saying, "Not the asshole, so it was perfectly okay for her to bully you all day, but the second you clap back, she's suddenly the victim? She shouldn't give it if she can't take it." Exactly. Okay, if I trick him like I'm running and knock him like this. Bro, get out of here. I think I got him. Another great comment by Claudius Zisk points out, crying after escalation doesn't automatically rewrite the timeline. If you spend all day poking at someone in front of an audience, you can't act shocked when they stop absorbing it quietly. Okay, let me look back. Alright, we're good. Let's continue the comments. And honestly, I 100% agree with Reddit on this one. This girl is absolutely not the asshole here. You do not get to throw passive-aggressive shade all day, drop a literal insult on someone's character, and then hide behind white woman tears the second they stand up for themselves. Her ex has a serious case of relationship blinders on. And if he wants to leave the friend group over this, I say let him pack his bags. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Was she right for standing her ground? Or should she just save the group drama? Alright, let me grab some wood real quick. Wait. Oh shit, he's back! No, I placed it wrong. Bro, nah, I gotta fight him. Why is he just floating there? Got him? Nice. I'm pretty sure that was just lag, but hey, I'll take this kill. Alright, let us jump into story number 2. This one comes from the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and the title is, Am I the Asshole for Requesting a Public Apology? I run warehouses, but my office is in the main corporate building. The rest of the office is an open floor plan with cubicles, surrounded by private offices that all look into the bullpen area. My office is one of those. One day last week, someone on the logistics team, let us call him Mike, discovered a mistake on some orders. It was not anything disastrous, just an annoying mix-up. But Mike lost his mind. He jumped up so quickly he knocked his chair over and ran straight into my office, screaming the whole time with lots of cursing and name-calling, before storming right back out through the bullpen. Wow. That is one way to handle a problem, I guess. Imagine getting that angry over an order mistake. Let us keep going. Now my boss is also Mike's boss, and she is a vice president. I am a senior manager, but he is only a manager. Within seconds of this going down, she was in my office asking what happened, and she said he would apologize by the end of the day. It ended up taking 2 whole days for him to apologize. When he did, he came into my office, shut the door, said a generic and not at all sincere apology that took maybe 5 seconds, and walked out. When the vice president later asked if he apologized, I told her it was not sincere at all. I said since he was comfortable having a hissy fit for the whole office to hear, then an apology with the door open would be appropriate. She felt asking for another apology might be breaking his balls a little, but I disagreed. There is a big difference between breaking balls and cursing someone out at work. He deserves to be embarrassed a little. Honestly, I kind of see the author's point here. If you are comfortable yelling at somebody in front of everyone, then saying sorry behind a closed door feels a little convenient. But somehow, this is not even the craziest part. On Friday, I was in a meeting with the vice president and about 20 other people when Mike started instant messaging me rapidly. He was angry again about something. In the span of a minute, he went from asking questions to all caps yelling messages and cursing again. I was sitting right next to the vice president, so I just showed her the messages and said I was done talking to him if that was how he was going to be. This genius decided to unmute himself and start yelling and cursing right in the meeting. Totally unhinged behavior, to the point where they booted him out. He literally continued screaming at the vice president after the meeting was over, on the phone. She gave him an instant final warning. Hold on. He actually started yelling during a meeting and then kept going after the meeting ended? This guy really doesn't understand what he is doing. Like, you had a good thing going, and you just had to blow it up. You, and your pride, and your ego? I am honestly surprised he still had a job after that. Although the author actually explains why in the comments. Credit where credit is due, he is very, very good at the nuts and bolts of his job. And there it is. Have you ever noticed that every workplace seems to have one person who somehow survives everything because they are really good at one specific thing? Now here is the part that makes this whole story even more interesting. A couple of weeks before any of this happened, the author was away on paid time off, got a random call from a recruiter, did a quick interview, and ended up getting a huge offer from another company. When they came back and handed in their notice, the chief executive officer basically panicked and said, "Do not mess with me. Show me the offer letter and I will beat it by $5,000 today." By the end of the day, the author ended up with a 35% salary increase and an immediate promotion to senior manager. Okay, that feels important. Because one commenter named Res2 Metro Girl said, "I can almost guarantee that Mike's temper was a result of the author's sudden promotion." You know what? That would explain a lot. Imagine throwing a fit at work, only to find out the person you are mad at just got a huge raise and got promoted right past you. I am not saying that is definitely what happened, but the timing is pretty suspicious. Another commenter named Old and Opinionated said, "Not the asshole. Nobody deserves being yelled at publicly, and everyone should know it. An apology was not enough. He should have also received an official warning." Honestly, that is fair. And if Mike had just calmed down after the first incident, maybe things would have blown over. But the messages, the meeting, the yelling at the vice president, at some point you are creating your own problems. And honestly, showing those messages to the vice president was probably the smartest thing the author could have done. There is no need to argue with somebody acting like that. Just let them show everyone who they are. But what do you think? Would you have pushed for the public apology? Or would you have just let human resources handle it? Let me know down in the comments and let us move on to story number 3. This one comes from the Petty Revenge subreddit, and the title is, Neighbors Being Disrespectful? Have fun listening to Street Fighter on full blast. Lately, my next-door neighbors have been really disrespectful to me and my family. They tend to throw trash over the backyard fence and onto our lawn, put their garbage bags on our side of the lawn, and their kids yell at us whenever they see one of us. Every Saturday night, they tend to have parties for some reason, and they always play loud music until like 4 a.m. Other people in the neighborhood have tried telling them to not play loud music at night when we are trying to sleep, but they just do not care. The final straw was last Friday, when they threw their garbage bags on our side of the lawn again, so my dad went to put it back. My neighbor saw him, came out of his house, started yelling at my dad, and threw the bag right back onto our side. Needless to say, my dad was super pissed about it. I recently got a sneeze with a few games, one of them being Street Fighter 2 Turbo. On Saturday, my dad saw it, and he had a plan. My dad got a wired speaker from a giveaway at his office, and he tried it out, and it was super loud on full blast. That night around 9 p.m., our neighbors had their party again and were playing their loud music, so my dad told my mom about the plan. My mom took my younger siblings and my dog to her friend's house, while me and my dad stayed home. He got the speaker out and hooked it up to the small TV in my room, because my room is the closest to my neighbor's house. We turned the TV on, tested the speaker on a low volume, and then muted the TV. He put the speaker on the window closest to the neighbor's house. We had a few practice rounds, then we went on to play Mario Kart, and then we waited. Around 12:30 a.m., our plan went into action. We opened my windows, popped Street Fighter in, turned on the TV and the SNES, went into multiplayer, and picked our characters. I selected Dalsim, and my dad picked Sagat. For those unfamiliar, both shout stuff during their special moves that gets extremely annoying. Dalsim shouts Yoga, while Sagat shouts Tiger. After we select our characters, we unmute the TV and turn the volume up to full blast. The speaker goes, "Round 1, fight!" We then hear our neighbors and people at their party shouting, "What was that?" and stuff like that. We then go into battle and keep spamming our special moves, so they had to put up with a constant Tiger, Tiger, Yoga, Yoga, Yoga Fire, Tiger, Tiger Uppercut on full blast. The speaker was so loud it literally drowned out their music. After about 10 minutes or so, my neighbor's music stops, and I hear a loud group of people leaving. I look outside and yep, it is everyone leaving the party. After they all leave, we turn off the TV and we just relax. Have not heard a word from them since. Wait, it actually worked? That is the part one was not expecting. And the fact that they sent the whole family away first makes this 10 times funnier. The amount of planning that went into this is honestly impressive. Oh, shoot, he's too close. Get out of here. Nah, this guy's got that lag advantage. Bro keeps blinking across my screen. How am I supposed to fight this? Is he running or teleporting? Make up your mind. I swear the server's fighting me harder than he is. Anyway, comments absolutely loved this story. One user named Excellent Stretch 81 replied, "For you, the day Street Fighter graced your ears was the most irritating day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday." That is honestly the perfect response. But then the author dropped an update that might be even worse. They said, "Me and my dad agreed that if they have their loud party this weekend, we're gonna play Yoshi's Island and constantly take damage so they'd have to put up with Baby Mario's cry. I think I would rather listen to the Street Fighter sounds for an hour." Another commenter named Slightbook2296 summed it up perfectly. Turns out annoying people really hate being annoyed back. Funny how that works. Honestly, that is pretty much the entire lesson here. The neighbors were completely fine when everyone else had to deal with the noise. The second somebody gave them a taste of their own medicine, suddenly, the party ended. Funny how fast that happened. And honestly, I have to give credit to the dad here. He did not start a fight. He did not go over there yelling. He just found the most ridiculous possible way to make a point. And somehow, it worked. But what do you think? Is the Street Fighter strategy the greatest noise complaint solution ever created? Or is the Baby Mario backup plan crossing a line? Let's close things out with one final story today. This one is from subreddit entitled People, and the title perfectly sets the stage. Entitled Boss fires my cousin to replace him with AI, but now demands he come back so they can blame him for AI's mistakes. Anyway, from June last year to March this year, I had my cousin David staying at my home here in California, as he moved here after receiving a job offer. Long story short, David's company had a change in management. David, along with a number of people in his department, were fired back in February as new management replaced his team with AI. He moved back to the Northeast and now has a job in New York City. A few weeks ago, I got letters addressed to David from the company he used to work for. I told David about it and he told me to ignore it. However, a couple days later I received a call from David's old manager, who I will call Ryan, demanding to speak with him. Ryan said he urgently needed to speak with David, and I told him that David moved back to New Jersey. This pissed off Ryan, as he has been trying to get in contact with David, demanding that he return to work, 4 months after he fired David and his team. Ryan then asked what I did for a living. I frankly told him I am a tattoo artist, and Ryan told me to tell David to get in touch with him. I then called David, telling him that Ryan called me wanting to speak with him, and apparently he knew this already, as Ryan has called David a few times, as well as sending David emails. Hence, now Ryan tried calling me when he stopped picking up Ryan's calls. Basically, from what David understands, the company he worked for was sold to private equity, and new management decided to let a significant number of their staff go, to replace them with AI, relying on AI to conduct interviews, write reports, give management legal advice, and conduct sales pitches to clients. Long story short, a couple of their clients are now suing them due to the AI written reports submitted to them having false information, which then caused the clients problems as well. David also told me of how the company tried to pass off AI as actual employees to speak with shareholders and clients, but that did not go down too well. Case in point, the month before David was fired, he talked about some clients flew in all the way from France to San Francisco, in large part because they wanted to meet and speak in person to the analyst who wrote up a report, only for David's manager to bring the clients into a conference room where David's manager sat the French clients in front of a television screen showing an interactive AI man who was the analyst that the clients could talk to. David's manager apparently let the French clients believe that the reports they received were written by a real employee, with David's manager then trying to argue to the clients that an AI employee is still a real employee. David believes that his former employer is trying to bring back employees, not just to get them to fix their mistake, but also to pin the blame for management's and AI's mistakes on them as well. I am sorry, but this is actually insane. You fire the guy, replace him with artificial intelligence, and then 4 months later you are calling his cousin trying to get him back? Come on. And the fact that they kept calling him after he stopped answering is the funniest part to me. That is when you know things are not going well. The comments absolutely tore this company apart. One user named SSMMD11 joked, "They probably asked artificial intelligence if this was a good idea in the first place. And honestly, I would not even be surprised." Another user named Tony Bologna imagined the response. "You're right. Rehiring old employees to use as scapegoats is a valid management technique and an excellent solution to this sticky situation." That sounds way too believable. Honestly, the craziest part of this whole story is the meeting with the French clients. Imagine flying all the way across the world because you want to meet the analyst who wrote your report. And then somebody wheels out a television screen. I would have thought it was a joke. And then trying to convince them that the artificial intelligence employee was still a real employee? Yeah, good luck with that. One commenter named Sulu Speaks summed it up perfectly. "David's former employer is sketchy, but I love a good story about private equity getting what it deserves." At the end of the day, this company tried to save money by replacing experienced employees, and now they are desperately trying to get those same people back. You really cannot make this stuff up. But what do you think? If Ryan kept calling your family trying to reach you, would you ignore him completely? Or would you charge him a ridiculous consulting fee? Let me know down in the comments. Wait, my mouse died. And I'm dead. Will I lose this manhunt? I probably hit a piglin with that pearl. Drop your thoughts below, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.